Welcome to Rapid Fire Wednesdays, Q&A for corporate immigration professionals. I'm Kimberley Robidoux, a partner in our San Diego office, and I'm joined as always by Miki Matrician, the co-managing partner of our Boston office. How are you doing today, Miki?
I'm good. Hi, Kim.
Hey. All right, so today we're addressing a significant and fast-moving development in immigration policy, the executive order travel ban, which was recently signed by President Trump. This proclamation imposes restrictions on citizens from multiple countries and is already in effect as of Monday, June 9th, 2025. It's really important for corporate immigration and global mobility teams to understand the immediate implications.
Yeah, that's right, Kim. The executive order, it's officially titled Restricting the Entry of Foreign Nationals to Protect the United States from Foreign Terrorists and Other National Security and Public Safety Threats. And it was signed on June 4th and became effective on Monday, June 9th. And it places a full entry ban on nationals from 12 countries and partial restrictions on citizens from 7 additional countries.
Right. So let's walk through the affected countries. Nationals from Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen are now all subject to a complete entry ban. So that includes both immigrant and non immigrant visa categories. So, meaning H-1Bs, L-1s, tourist visas, and even family based immigration petitions could be impacted.
Yeah, and then for countries like Venezuela, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Burundi, Togo, and Turkmenistan, while a full ban is not in place, their nationals now face partial restrictions. In most cases, that means entry is only possible under certain temporary work visa categories, and even those will be tightly scrutinized. This means that global mobility teams should immediately evaluate whether they have impacted employees or candidates in the pipeline from any of these nations.
Yeah, so the good news is that there are a few exceptions. Lawful permit residents, individuals with valid visas issued before the date the ban took effect, dual citizens using a passport from an unrestricted country, and diplomatic or official visa holders are generally exempt from this entry ban, as are athletes or members of an athletic team, including coaches, persons performing a necessary support role, and immediate relatives traveling for the World Cup, which is in 2026. It's almost a year away. Olympics or other major sporting events as determined by the Secretary of State. So there are other classifications of visa holders that have exceptions as well that we're not going to go through at this point in time. But one thing to note is that this ban appears to apply only to individuals who are outside of the US on the day the travel ban went into effect, which was 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on June 9th, and who do not have a valid visa on the day the ban went into effect, and who have not obtained a waiver under Section 3C and D of the proclamation if a waiver is necessary. So a waiver process remains available, but it's narrow. To qualify, an individual must prove that denying entry would cause undue hardship, that their entry poses no national security or public safety threat, and that it would be in the national interest to grant the waiver. So we've already seen employers reaching out for help reviewing pending cases and mobility plans. And it's really important to remember that this ban follows recent events involving visa overstays and concerns about insufficient vetting protocols. So it's clear the administration is prioritizing national security narratives, but the practical impact on talent pipelines is significant and will continue to be so.
Yeah, absolutely. And Kim, it's worth noting that this action builds on the January 2025 executive order that enhanced vetting procedures and tightened visa processing for certain countries. And this last proclamation represents a broader enforcement strategy. And so for HR and global mobility professionals, now really is the time to review, travel plans for affected employees, pause any new recruitment efforts involving nationals from the listed countries, coordinate really closely with legal counsel before international travel is booked, and then finally, considering contingency plans for work that may need to be shifted to remote locations abroad if programs find that their employees are not able to come back. And then we're also recommending that companies really revisit their internal mobility protocols to ensure that they're tracking nationality and visa status accurately, especially for those relying on self reporting or minimal automation, as highlighted in our recent benchmarking survey.
Yeah. And while we may see litigation challenging this ban in the weeks ahead, employers should operate on the assumption that these rules are now in effect and enforceable.
Yeah, and this is also an opportunity for employers to proactively assess visa dependent roles and consider adjustments to talent strategies as well. And we are here to support with compliance planning, workforce impact reviews, and internal communications as well. The other thing is that, we definitely want to mention the proclamation that was also issued on June 4th entitled Enhancing National Security by Addressing Risks at Harvard University. And that proclamation seeks to prohibit the entry of new Harvard students pursuant to FMNJ status. And this travel ban was blocked by a federal judge on June 6th. And the U.S. District Judge in Boston issued a temporary restraining order against that proclamation, saying that Harvard had demonstrated that it would sustain immediate and irreparable injury before she will have time to hear the parties' arguments on the merits of the case. So that, fortunately, is blocked at the moment. And then I just want to mention too that as soon as the travel ban was issued, the next day, our partners, Bernie Wolfstorff, Carrie Koski, and Avi Friedman, put together a webinar, which is posted on YouTube. And that was part one of the Understanding the President's Travel Bans and Implications webinar. And tomorrow, Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, which is also 5 p.m. Eastern time, we will be holding the part two session. So join Kim and me, two fire twins, plus our partner in Boston, Dan Morancy.
Yeah, looking forward to that, Mickey. So, with that, I guess that wraps up this week's Rapid Fire Wednesday, and we'll continue monitoring for court developments, agency guidance, and provide updates in future episodes as we hear of them. So, as always, for all the latest updates to the immigration landscape, please follow WR Immigration on LinkedIn, as well as Mickey and me on our professional profiles for breaking updates and insights. So we also transcribe each and every episode and share it through a weekly newsletter, which you can subscribe to. The link to subscribe can be found in the video description. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Great seeing you, Mickey.
Good to see you, Kim.